Hi everybody, welcome to another episode. I'm Uther. Today we're going to ramble a little bit about how Microsoft has no vision. And it's super obvious right now that they are not sure where they're going, or they're just not executing on a plan, or in general their plan is just bad. And it's more prominent now than it has been, now that I'm looking at the specifications that have been leaked on the new Surface Laptop 4, which is going to have a modified version of last year's version of the AMD chips, and then obviously also the 11th gen Intel. And they're going to continue to focus totally on Intel. And now I don't want to make that the focus of this conversation. What I really want to look at is, as a whole, not who they're picking, but what they're picking. Now, according to the reports, we're going to keep the exact same build, which I'm mostly for, but you definitely still need to work on the bezeling. And I've mentioned this in videos before. They need to work on the bezeling on their Surface laptops, their Surface Pros, their Surface Books, the Surface Duo that I'm recording on right now. They're just bezel, and it just does not look modern. Not to mention the fact that the chips they're using from AMD are a year old, right? So we all know, if you are keeping up with tech or if you've been watching my videos, that I'm a big advocate of the higher power, higher efficiency of energy that the Renoir or AMD chips in general have. They give you more cores, which if you're driving through a big city, you have more lanes to put the traffic on, right? At the same time, while you're getting more performance, at least multi-threaded performance based on 11th gen versus that, is you're also getting more battery power. Now, we're talking about super elite premium ultrabooks. We're talking things that are going against the Zen line from Asus, the Spectre line from HP, and the MacBooks. So I don't understand why they're taking a step back or a half step back for the second time, right? So I shouldn't say the second time, because when they launched over a year and a half ago with the threes, they did get a modified version of the Surface Edition processors for the laptops. And at that time, it was the current version, and they were just upgraded versions. And they had the 10th gen version of the Intel chips. And at the time, they were the only company that could maintain the higher clock speeds with the heat Intel puts out. So they were doing something really well with their vapor chambers and the magnesium body and just the internal build materials. But the problem I'm really starting to see is that they are going the route of Apple and the route Google is now making, and keeping a step back of everyone instead of being the force to drive forward the brand, right? So if you look at the Pixel, the Pixel Book 2017, 2018, I think it was the 2018, where they had this amazing build. Now, obviously the bezels were a little big, but this amazing build. When you flipped it, it felt like a tablet. The keyboard was amazing. The screen was high quality. It was ultra thin, ultra premium. It was probably one of the best feeling devices I have ever touched, and I actually owned it for a short period and really liked it. And the only reason I did away with it was I decided I wanted to go with the Go, and then the Go let me down. I should have waited till after the Go was announced, and I would have been a lot better off, and I would have kept it. And then I ended up going down the road of just buying a gaming laptop, selling my desktop, and keeping that. So that came back to haunt me in some ways, and I feel like the step back that Microsoft is making right now is the same issue that Apple's doing with the M1, one of the abundance of issues they're having. Yeah, they have more battery life, but the performance is not nearly as good as a lot of people are saying. You're having so many malware issues, just issues in general, but I understand the direction they're going. And then obviously Google with the Pixel Book, they stopped the fold with the Go. They got smaller. They didn't upgrade the specs. The build materials are still really good. They even got rid of the pen functionality after coming out with their own pen for 2 generations in a row. So it was the 17 and the 18, because the 18 was the Slate, and then 19 they launched the Go. So I'm really seeing Microsoft go the same direction, and it's really annoying, because in general, I just don't know where the company's planning or what they're planning to do and where they're planning to go. Obviously, we're still waiting for more information on the Z, which is the Duo 2, like when I'm recording on the Duo 1 right now. The Neo has been pushed back because of Windows 10 X, but the continued, I'm just not sure the direction they're going. They are going to offer 32 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte hard drive on the Intel chips, and then they're only going to offer 16 and 1 terabyte on the AMD chips. They're going to keep the same body from the looks of it. Obviously, this could change, but as of right now, the same body. And I just don't understand what their plan is, right? It's not like they're pushing these products hard. They're selling enough of these products to have a lot of accessories. They're limited in accessories. So I'm not exactly sure why they're just not taking the next step to make these better. And even so, changing the style every 2 to 3 years, having 2 or 3 years of compatible accessories is exactly what a lot of other companies are starting to do, whether it's your Apple, your Microsoft currently, and in general, just devices in general, trying to have a couple years of compatibility to get these accessory companies to really step in and give a better experience. But you can definitely do the same thing that Apple's doing with the iPad and the iPad, or the iPad Air and the iPad Pro 11, where you have physically the same design, and they did it the same last year with the Air and the regular model, where you have the exact same body, but the bezel changes and they made some internal differences, but the same accessories across the board. They really, really, really need to modernize the Pro. They need to slim the bezel of the laptop, and the book itself really needs to, in my opinion, come down slightly in price by about $150, $200. I'd say so 10-15%. And maybe even consider doing like what Dell and Spectre are doing with including the pen and not doing this, buy all these crazy accessories all the time. Because in general, while I am being successful at selling a lot of their products, I feel like from my experience selling them on a daily basis, I have lower return rates, smaller issues and everything. But we can't move the product when people are coming and looking at screen size, I/O, right? They only have one USB-C, one USB-A. They're still not going the Thunderbolt port, which you can't do that on AMD anyways, but USB-C 4, I mean, we're in 2021, right? Let's put some USB-C 4 in there. They're using Windows. You're making money off use of the device, right? The same thing Google's doing with the Pixel series, and the same thing Apple's doing with their devices. They're making money off just using it. So look at the Surface line the same way you're looking at the Xbox line. Yes, you're going to take a little bit of a hit on profits on the unit, okay? Mm-hmm. You need to continue to drive money through the vendors, get people using them, which they're doing a really good job of right now, which I'll cover in a second, but they need to continue to drive that as hard as they possibly can, and they need to make sure that they're continuing to push the market. Microsoft, just like Google, does not need to be the top selling of their operating system. That's not the point, right? At least I don't think it should be the point. There's just too many other brands out there that have household names like Dell and HP, and the names go on, Lenovo. It just goes on and on for them to really take too much market share. What they need to do is continue to focus on making the best device they can, having a timeline, having a vision, having a picture and plan of where they want to go, so they can start putting these things together and quit putting stuff out before it's ready, right? Be the Blizzard of the 90s, right? Be the Apple of, as much, oh God, I can't believe I'm saying this, I hate that company, but be the Apple of the Bill Gates days and stuff like that or Steve Jobs, my bad. And Samsung years ago, and there's just so many companies that just, when they put something out, let's talk NVIDIA. This is what we'll do. We'll go talk NVIDIA. Look at NVIDIA, right? Over the last 10 years, how they have continued to keep growing market share, even in the face of AMD's resurgence. When they put out a product, they have a vision, right? Regardless of what you think of that vision, they have a vision and they implement it, okay? And it works for them, right? People have different views, different plans and stuff of what they think, but reality is the reality. The product is selling really, really, really well. They have a huge market share. Look at them, make that plan, and in general, create a vision. Take your time, put the products out, and communicate. This is Uther. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you very much. You're a true legend. You're wonderful. You're amazing. And we'll see you next time. Take care.